So what is up, Pisces? I have to refilm your video. I gotta make more space. Good. I was at least able to, I guess, rehearse. I guess rehearsing might be something I have to seriously look at. And actually, it's what I'm doing technically when I go over these messages. It's great to rehearse a lesson, especially. I guess that's all we're missing is rehearsal, you know. But in a way, you still get better as long as you're truly feeling and being right. Let's get to the point of your July message for this year 2026, Pisces. I really want to recap all signs, so now I can start from Aries, even though I have to do the video still. So Aries' message is about letting things be revealed. I haven't read on their ultimate message though, so I can really only read on Taurus's. So Taurus is facing things with presence and eagerness. Gemini is about trusting themselves so they don't mistrust others. Trust their ability to handle things as they come. Cancer's lesson is about handling their emotions going through the month, not projecting or believing, things are happening to them. Actually being able to see where there's beliefs they have to check about themselves. If their old beliefs are misjudgments of people or themselves, still themselves because it's of people versus themselves. So anyway, so Cancer is about handling their emotions, through the month and not projecting onto people. Getting over their emotions to have more space to move through the month. Not holding on to these feelings, but utilizing them by not being taken over by them, right? And Leos, they're doing so great with their feelings. They're so not held back by their emotions or judgments, any views. They're able to have a contest with themselves by judging their expression, their actions. The execution of being themselves is the new focus. How well they're being themselves rather than worrying about if they're good enough. They can't afford to feel hopeless. They have to be an emperor. And the best way to access this energy would be have a contest with yourself with how player or sincere or true your actions, gestures, and eye contact, expression all is. If it's all truly felt and understood without scribbling, that's a helpful way to keep your presence. You're not acting, you're just being yourself clearly, patiently, sincerely. Anyway, that will minimize being worrisome. Virgo is about doing that, but throughout the whole month, further honoring what they want and who they truly are, their truth and what they want to do, and nothing else in between. That is what they need to look at. Libra is about stilling the mind as they go through the experience, and most likely it would be of being that way, of fully trusting yourself and your truth. Scorpio is about having tranquility, and you can add that in of being yourself through this new self. Trust in yourself, or focus for this month, right? Just the point I'm trying to make is you go into stillness with each of these signs. You're incorporating each lesson into it. So I wish I added this part with Virgo's message. You're going into stillness with the truth of yourself, with what you want to do, right? Owning yourself with no inner dialogue. Scorpio's having tranquility with essentially owning yourself, no dialogue. Finding tranquility in that whenever you feel anxiety or your old worries feels risky being this new self. Stay tranquil. Forgive me. Stay with me. Sagittarius is about disagreeing with others or disagreeing with, your experiences and still connecting with others and the experience. Another way of minimizing the inner battle, right? When you're remaining this new self or true self, true self, and what you want, remaining there. So now we're at Sagittarius, like I said, disagreeing with people and still connecting, or disagreeing with the experience and still connecting, or remaining true to yourself, right? Still agreeing with yourself, the true self. That helps get people to realign themselves, because you're sticking to yourself. So it's good. You're being a role model in that way. Stay with me, Pisces, please. Now we're on to Capricorn. So now what you did in Sagittarius is reading, you keep tending to that part of yourself that has instincts to mistrust yourself, not, or when you second guess yourself. Your duty is to tend to this part of yourself consistently, before you worry about possibilities and opportunities. I have to go over this before I get to your messages. It's helpful. So now we go on from tending to the work of consistently of agreeing with ourselves, even if we disagree with others or the experience. You keep doing that. You still agree with yourself. Because the lesson is how to ingrain yourself throughout these signs. That's the grand message. If you did this, you would still be yourself, yet be the same. Yourself more 100%. More, condensed, more pure. So after Capricorn consistently, learns to agree with themselves as they disagree with others in the outer experience. Stay true to the self. Agree to what your agreement of yourself is, the true you. We get on to Aquarius, and all they're doing there is no longer having what was it? Yeah. You're no longer, you're accepting yourself more. Now what Capricorn does, Aquarius only does now. You only accept yourself. You only look at what growth looks like without self-judgment. And you only see how can you be a better representation of who you already are. So each sign, I guess, works on what the last sign does, or perfects it, enhances it, or, And now we're on to you, Pisces. So almost 10 minutes, 8 minutes. We're at 8 minutes now. We're on to your message, your sign, which is about being here. So I'll read your sign's message. I'll read Pisces July message. From no inspiration to making it happen, you are building into stability from chaos. You are building into stability from chaos. Eventually you will be. Well, you're being, but you'll be, more. You'll know what to do. So eventually you'll know what to do. Be here. This is all we need to do. Okay? So all I wrote was, from no inspiration to making it happen, you are building into stability from chaos. Eventually you will be. You'll know what to do. Be here. This is all we need to do. And here are your prompts that ChatGPT made to help you ingrain the message, to help me deeply download the message. Questions to ask yourself throughout the month. What small actions build trust in myself today? What stability am I creating that I cannot yet see? And what if consistency is the inspiration? So now, let's read on that. that's what we're reading on. After 10 minutes of talking, we're getting to the reading now. What small action would build trust in myself today? And I'm pretty sure doing all that, because Aries' message is just about letting it be revealed, and yeah. Forgive me for jumping all around. I'm making connections. Yes, being ready for confusion, letting it be revealed, and keeping our emotions out of it. So then we go all the way to your message, which was about being here. All right. Yes. Building inner stability from chaos. Just be here, you'll know what to do. The first question was, what small action will build trust today in yourself today? What small action will build trust in myself today? Here are the 3 cards. I do all this talking to finally be able to condense this and summarize it and just know it. You know, all this is all exercise good for me. Great to get my talking muscles working. So what actions build trust? What small actions build trust in myself today? This answer for you, Pisces. You know, yeah. This is that part of yourself, you know, that is now no longer looking at what you think is not being felt. You're able to now cut out that and not take that in, because that's just a lack. My bad. That is a lack. That is a viewpoint that is impurity that's leaving. And that would build trust in you today. It feels like an ever-going lesson to learn, but that will build trust in you. My messages with the right mentalities, you will be fortified, and you'll amaze yourself how smoothly you've moved through this lesson. You eat the lesson, digest the lesson, and shit it out. Like you make the lesson want to take you as a lesson. You make the lesson want to study you. The lesson's taking notes on you now. That's how good this is. But you only get there by doing this, dealing with this lesson that felt like it was forever. Until the lesson is now, you know, trying to deal with you. So that's what will build more confidence in yourself, actually handling this impurity, this thought that either you're not connecting or something's not working. But all you would do is just not acknowledge it. You wouldn't give it attention. Exactly. This is what you would do. So I explain things, but there are even things I don't want to go back over. And that's how I see it. I just don't feel the need to keep acknowledging it. And that's great. Once you feel like it's a heavy pressure or a weak part of yourself, yeah, whatever. I mean, this is supposed to... So now the whole fake it till you make it was a legit solution, actually. So you don't need to acknowledge it. Yes, the world knew this, but for some reason, simply knowing this upgrades it upgrades you, upgrades your personality, it should upgrade you to express yourself fully and, you know, engage more. Be engaged and engage with, engage and engage. Let me just get these messages out. Engage and engage. Next question, Pisces. What stability am I creating that I cannot yet see? So what stability am I creating that I cannot yet see? 3 cards for that. That is stability. You're finally connecting. So it's about, like I was saying with Aquarius' message, getting rid of the impurities. I'm glad this card came out again. The World card came out again. So now, I guess Taurus's message may have a clue since it came out. But you're fully connecting and no longer in the lesson. The lesson's trying to figure you out. So in this position, you're still going through the cycle, just like the Wheel of Fortune. But it's like, it's not bad because you're still learning. But it's not the same as the Wheel of Fortune, because that's like not changing. You still have to go through the experience. But this lesson is learned in different angles, to where now you're a bold color, like my shirt, or this, this red. I like the red is something about the bold red. It's easier to see, brighter, way brighter too. So, but yeah, that's a better representation of yourself. It might not be red. It'll just be you'll be that bright. Because you got over the lessons. You went through the many lessons of not viewing yourself accurately. And now, let's read on Taurus's message. Before we get to the last prompt. Says, Taurus, you are getting used to feeling like a boss and moving like a boss. Respond to all situations with presence and eagerness to begin. We are accessing our own confidence. We won't be alone for long. Respond to all situations with presence and eagerness to begin. Alright? I have to repeat that part. Yes. So yes, what would I do different? Here's Taurus's prompts before I get to the last one. What would I do different if I believed I was qualified? Where am I waiting for permission that I don't actually need? Where am I waiting for permission I don't actually need? What version of me is emerging that I haven't accepted yet? So maybe you may want to ponder those questions. Last one. What if consistency is inspiration? What if consistency is inspiration? Oh my goodness. That's what all this takes. I mean, the more you do it, the more it works, the more it shows up in all that you do, until it's all you. Here we go. So, what if consistency is the inspiration? Because this is what it takes to turn this trajectory around, the consistency in holding that agreement. Because it's essentially manifestation 101. We get down to it. Having a manifestation mindset helps you grow. If you want to say that. What if consistency is the inspiration? Yep. So we got to the end of this video. 20 minutes isn't too long. Pretty healthy length, actually. I was tempted to read on Taurus's messages, Taurus's prompts. I guess I'll just draw one card to just sum it up. Well, I'm going to answer it right now. What would I do differently if I believed I was qualified? I'll answer my questions. I wrote what I put. I'll say what I put. I wrote, I would proudly take my time getting comfortable. That's what I would do if I believed I was qualified. Here is another one. Where am I waiting for permission I don't actually need? Relationships. I don't need permission to take my time and enjoy the experience. Here's the last one. What version of me is emerging that I haven't accepted yet? The part that grows slowly and calmly. Grows slowly and calmly. There are the messages, Pisces, for July 2026. The words rehearse come to mind again. And I guess what I'm doing is just one big rehearsal. And that is perfectly... Well, never mind. That's just perfectly. Next sign. Last is Aries, actually. So.